Ladies and gentlemen, I forgot what I say next.
Welcome to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and the Fool. I'm Cameron.
I'm Connor.
Today, I want to make an apology. So back in, let me see, I wrote it down. Back in episode 8, I was talking about how I was watching some philosophers discuss something, and they brought up math. And they were talking about infinity, and I was saying how none of them understood infinity, so they should learn math.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that one of them was Eric Weinstein, something like that, yeah.
Isn't he a mathematician?
Yes, apparently he's a mathematician. So I'd like to apologize to Eric Weinstein. I'm sorry that your school never taught you proper mathematics, and I don't know how you ever became a mathematician with your lack of understanding, but I'm sorry that you've been lied to all this time. The other possibility is I'm wrong, or I misheard them, or he decided not to chime in because it was besides the point.
Yeah.
But I like to believe
that I'm smarter than everyone else. You should seriously read your letter you wrote.
Which my...
I hate you letter.
Oh, that would be fun.
I think you should read that.
Yeah, I should get it at some point. All right.
Yeah.
It'll be the special thing up on the podcast. We'll read it at some point.
Yes.
We'll see when it...
The special thing for episode 11.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was thinking that, episode 10 was a special episode. We did the Halloween thing.
Yeah.
And I listened to half of it, and I don't know. I was thinking it got some good stuff, but if we tightened it up a bit more and cut out another 3 hours of the chaff, I think it'd be pretty good.
There's only 2 hours. The whole thing.
It's just such a... Yeah, the production quality is our greatest show today.
Are you saying my keep in I shouldn't?
I don't know if I said anything of value that entire time.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
I felt like it was pretty good.
Yeah. I think you could probably be a little bit harsher with your editing, but that's always personal taste.
Yeah, my personal taste is I like keeping things in, keep continuity slightly.
Yeah, I like to...
And also, to be honest,
take things out.
To be honest, I don't listen to the whole thing when editing because I've got other things to do, and I haven't figured out how to make it play back faster without also increasing the pitch, and so I just keep the playback normal.
What if we just talk faster during the podcast? Would that work?
No.
Well, we can give it a try and see. We can talk about a lot of things.
See, the problem with talking faster is you also
my mouth already runs ahead of my brain, so I'd be in a lot more trouble now.
Well, no, your brain and mouth don't line up, so you'll be talking, then you'll go, and your brain is going, okay, I think I was just talking about this. And so when you're talking faster, it's just going to cause even longer pauses.
Yeah, really, I should talk slower, because I need time to think about...
No, you shouldn't talk slower. You should talk without the pauses. That's the main thing I edit out, is your...
But the pauses are better than ums. Like, when you're giving a presentation, people think, oh, this next point's going to be poignant because he paused. It's like, so, the most important thing a person can do in their life, according to my data. No. I'll compare them back to back. So you have, the most important thing I can do in my life. The most important thing you can do in your life, by looking at my data, is get enough sleep. Well, that was a bit of a long pause. But then the other one...
And this is what's going on.
1 second. That was 3 seconds. So the other
now
one, the most important thing you can do in your
mind.
life, looking at my data, is sleep. The 3-second pause.
Is sleep. And not over drinking. You're all beautiful. Ladies and... Interesting, actually, thing. I heard on the radio guys talking about acting.
Yeah.
Is
drunks don't tend to sound drunk. At least not that kind of drunk.
What he was saying is he had this play and he was meant to play a bunch of different roles.
Yeah.
And one of them was this drunk, and he's doing his drunk act. And his director's like, stop right there, just cut that. What are you doing? And he's like, I'm playing a drunk. He's like, drunks don't stumble about, they don't slur their speech. Drunks are people who are trying to walk straight, and they're trying to speak straight, but they can't. I want you to act that. And so the guy's much, much harder thing to do. However, it makes a much better performance. And then again later on, he was meant to be like crying. He's a man, and so he's like trying to just make himself cry and be really sad. And his director's cut. What are you doing? And it's like, you're a man. Men don't try to cry. They try to hide your tears. I want you to act a man who's really sad, but he's trying to be brave and not appear sad. And I found that very interesting. Both those. It's like, people don't act like that. Act like this.
Act as an actor acting. No, wait, not as an actor.
Yeah.
But act as if you're acting somewhere else.
Yeah, it's like people who are drunk are not trying to be drunk. People who are sad are not trying to be sad.
Yeah.
And it sounds way harder to pull off.
If they're not trying to be sad, then they're doing it right, I think. Because I do this a lot myself personally, where I revel in my own sadness. And and it's not because I like being sad. I think it's because the emotions are so powerful.
It just feels justified.
No, it feels wrong if you don't feel sad, because you must be feeling terrible for a reason. So you have to stick in it for a while until it like burns itself out. Because you feel ill if you just switch emotions suddenly.
Yeah,
it's like,
well, that's what me with anger. I found it's like, I'm angry. I justify my anger. Like, I'm angry. I should be angry.
Yeah.
And just no. You just stop, and then you give yourself a nosebleed.
Yeah.
Go a little cross-eyed. Bit of drool comes out.
Yeah, self-righteousness is a very powerful emotion. It's very good feeling. You feel like, I'm angry and I have reason to be angry. I'm ready to fight people and I know why, because they're all wrong and I'm doing great.
And I'm smarter than them. Here's my reasons why I'm better than them.
Yeah, and how dare they? How dare they? They don't have a reason. They're just evil.
How very dare you, sir? How very diddly dare you indeed?
Yeah, they're just evil.
Most of the time, you just need to step back from it, consider the situation, and realize that you are better than them, and you are right, and they're idiots.
Yeah. Can't read my own writing.
Hello. You're listening to the most wholesome podcast on the internet. It's so nice and wholesome. Oh, what's it called? Well, I believe its name is The Fool and the Philosopher!
Oh yeah, so this is relevant. Did you know, so I've been listening back to a couple of our podcasts. I've listened to 3 or 4 of them. And did you know that occasionally you talk during them?
Yes.
And you you ask me questions and stuff, and I just completely ignore them.
Yeah, I do.
I just keep talking. And I think what it is I have a sort of...
You have a condition.
I have a narrative in my head where
you have a condition called self-absorption.
I want to say my point, and I want to get to the end of my point so I don't lose track of it, because it's hard for me to think in point to point. So I put it in a line, and then the conveyor belt will keep on moving no matter what gets thrown on it, because otherwise the whole production comes to a halt. And like the factory just shuts down and all the workers go home. And so it's like I'm like a shoe factory, right? And I like incinerate shoes. This is like the shoes that don't work we incinerate, right?
Yeah.
So they're going along in the incinerator along the conveyor belt. And if like a worker falls onto that conveyor belt, I'm not going to stop the conveyor belt because it would shut the whole factory down for like a week, because the conveyor belt's so hard to get moving again. So instead I just keep letting the conveyor belt go. And if the factory worker gets off or not, it's up to them. But then occasionally I will talk to the points if I heard them when I get back to it. But also, it's like I know that conveyor belt's always going to be going no matter what, so I don't look at it either. I just let it go in the background.
Yes. I have noticed that. It is interesting at times to try to deal with that, because I try to say something which I think might contribute.
And also a lot of the time when you say things, that was related. I'm not ignoring you this time. I don't know.
You treat them as if they fall by the wayside, or they're not important.
Yeah, well, they seem really boring in the moment a lot of the time to me. But then afterwards, and not boring, I think is the wrong term. I can't see any use to them.
And then you make me feel useless and boring by dismissing me. You're like, yeah, exactly. Right there. You do that, and then I feel so bad. It's like, hey, I won't talk anymore.
No, I'm agreeing with you.
You're cowing me into submission.
I agree with you that you're useless and boring. I don't... wait.
Okay, well,
No, wait. Okay. What I mean... What? No. Okay. Anyways, when I'm listening...
Ouch.
No, you see, when you say something, it's very difficult when you're talking to think about why on earth what they're saying is relevant to the conversation, because it sounds like a complete tangent sometimes. So I'll be talking about, oh, what was one? I was talking about like ghost stories or something, and you said, yeah, like that person in that swimming pool or something, and I was like, oh, that's not relevant, that's dumb. And so I just kept on talking about my thing, and then, but listen back, I was like, oh, that would be interesting if we kept talking about that, actually. But it's really hard in the moment to realize that it's relevant, I think. And, but...
You know, one of Jordan Peterson's rules for life is when listening to people, act as if they might have something interesting to say.
Yeah, but when they're talking, when you're talking, it's really hard because you have to think of what you're saying and what they're saying, and you know, it's like, it's difficult. And also, it's generally not interesting. Well, no, the interesting thing is, right, is if you, I've tried this, and it's a lot of hard work, so I stopped. But if you listen to someone, you can actually be a lot less bored by the conversation than if you half listen to them.
Yeah.
Because half listening to someone, you just sort of like, oh, when will they end so I can completely not listen to them? But when you fully listen, you can actually engage, and it's interesting and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you don't need to think ahead of things to say because you're part of the conversation. So then you can actually start talking.
Instead of just thinking of like the next point on your list of what you want to say.
To win the conversation.
Yeah. Because a lot of the times the things that I want to say, I realize aren't actually, like not on the podcast, I think I'm doing all right there. But a lot of the time someone will be mentioning something. I'll think of something that's slightly related. I'm like, I have to say this thought that's in my brain. Every thought I've ever thought must be said. Otherwise...
Yeah. Because they're cool and they need to be.
But it doesn't really matter, I find.
No, that's actually what he talks about quite a bit, is that those things don't really matter and you're kind of just ruining the conversation.
Oh my goodness, the second one came fast. Right. Then, yeah. You're listening to a full Philosopher. Bye.
But I've already told you too much about my backstory.
Oh, were we not recording there? Whoops. Oh well.
Right. So, I thought of a shop vendor.
Yeah.
That, I don't know, I think would be for like a sketch or something, but I just want to run this by you.
Yeah.
So he has everything you need, nothing you want.
Okay, so...
Like, so you come up to him and like maybe he goes... Everything you need, nothing you want. Give you out free samples. What's your free sample? Lean in closer. Okay, and they slaps you across the face.
Or, I wonder what would they stock? Like they would have like hard lessons
and medicine
and like
very large pills that are pointy.
Hard pills to swallow.
Yeah,
and like, you know, it'd be like
mirrors.
Treadmill.
Yeah. Mirrors.
Mirrors.
Mirrors that show you as you are.
But isn't that what mirrors do? But it could be like...
Maybe it's a mirror. It's a mirror though, like, what's it called? Dorian Gray's portrait?
Yeah.
It's a mirror, but it's his portrait.
I don't know. I wonder if we're already too hard on ourselves. I wonder if the mirror would be even worse.
Yeah. But just... I like the idea, like, maybe it just gives you a good swift kick to the rear.
Yeah.
I want to make that into a sketch at some point. Yeah, another one which I think is meant to be like some sort of poem, but I feel like I don't want to write it anymore. Is I used to fight dragons.
I used to fight dragons.
And so it's like going to be a poem about like my childhood, how I used to slay dragons, and how like these stories and adventures I would do.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like all the bittersweet about childhood. But
yeah, I used to fight dragons. Now I chase them.
I used to fight dragons. Upon this silvered plain of my cushioned bed, across the mires of my living room, under the table of my kitchen. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then I don't know where the next part would go, because usually those poems are like, now I sit in an office building working and blah blah blah.
Right.
But my change was, now I fight dragons on the plain of whatever. Now I fight dragons upon the sword coast. My weapon in hand is a 20-sided dice. I don't know.
It's a pretty sad poem, isn't it?
Yeah. Ouch. From the clicking of my mouse, they do be slain.
Yeah, there's something. I think it's because in the first one you're a creator, in the second one you're a consumer. So in the first one you're having fun, in the second one you're being entertained. And just being entertained isn't. I mean, that's just being a vegetable.
But I have fun.
Well, you don't have fun. You are entertained.
No.
Hello, ma'am. Have you ever listened to the Fool and the Philosopher podcast?
Oh, yes, I have. It's very good. It's my favorite podcast. In fact, I'm listening to it right now.
Was everyone in your college and university experience miserable?
Miserable. Like how so?
Like they think the man is trying to put them down, and they think that the rich are getting richer, and they think the world's doomed, and that people are horrible and miserable, and people just look out for their own interests, and there's nothing good, and we're just on the path to destruction, and we're in the end times.
Only in my environmental class, and even them, I convinced most of them otherwise. I thought, and not just me. I think I just started I would say that me and there's another guy. We argued against a lot of the common talking points of the class, and the teacher also was taught against a lot of the people came into this environmental class to say, I want to learn about how the world is doomed, and I don't know what, feel self-righteous maybe? I'm not sure.
I want to learn about how the world is doomed and feel self-righteous.
Yeah. When I turn the volume up, you speak louder.
Yes, well, the volume is directly... Cameron, that dial actually isn't the volume. That dial is the amount of energy I have. So when you turn it down, it turns down my energy. That's the actual...
I'm so sorry for anyone listening to this, because it's just going to be everywhere. You're going to need your finger on the volume piece.
Just don't mess with the volume thing. I can do it later.
It's just like, every time I turn it up, you start speaking louder. Every time I turn it down, you start speaking quieter.
It's my like I said, there's not, Karen, that is not the volume of the recording. That's my volume.
But it's also the volume of the recording.
Yes.
Linked. But anyways, no, I didn't find that so much at my college.
Okay.
There was a couple people in my environmental class, but
what about
the
your
other
philosophy
people sort
class?
of bullied them out of it. My philosophy class, I seem to remember being fairly quiet.
Okay.
It was just, man, I talk a lot. It was just me and a friend talking mostly. I find it bad that most of my conversations lead to me saying that me talking in the class, because that doesn't... Well, it's a bit self-aggrandizing, I find, almost.
Yeah.
Like, talking about myself a lot, and I was the one who was different. Ooh. But then is that being so...
With my classes, I'm happy that I don't have to talk anymore, because a lot of my teachers expect their students to talk. Like my 3 teachers, they're always would have pauses and wait for students to add things, or what do you think about this? And no one's saying anything. And so I'd speak up, and then I just started speaking up. But other people started talking in my classes because they got comfortable with the class.
Yeah.
It's I don't have to talk all the time anymore.
Well, you never had to.
Yeah, well,
I like teachers that give you that time to talk, because then I can kind of let off a bit of steam and just
because you haven't talked for a while, they'd be doing talking.
Yes, lectures are really annoying.
Have you ever considered being a professor?
Yes. I don't... Maybe it could be good. I don't know.
Or know those professors that give a 3-hour lecture, and they end an hour early. It's all right, I've talked a lot.
Yeah.
You would be and then one of the students I have an idea. No, shut up, students, shut up. I have to keep talking. Questions after class. I'll be here for an hour to talk for you after class. And then it's the end of class, and you keep on talking for an extra half an hour. And then your students can talk to you for an hour after that.
Oh, but then I have to listen to them for an hour.
Well, it's more they say something to you. So what do you think about this thing? And then you go off for about 15 minutes. So it's you only get asked 4 questions.
Yeah, it just seems like it'd be a lot of
time you're not talking.
Yeah. Actually, that's you can see that in Jordan Peterson when he gives his talks. He loves talking. When he was talking with other people, he interrupts them all the time.
Yeah, well...
Which is... what I'm saying is that I am basically as same intellect level as Jordan Peterson because I like talking a lot. Because I find that people who spend all their time talking often don't need to hear anything because they already know it all.
Well, I guess my earlier thing of listening, you might learn something was straight out in one nostril and out your mouth. See, I try to make new metaphors that are nonsensical but have some reason behind them. However, a lot of the time it doesn't work.
Your problem is you're trying to make them nonsensical and have reason behind them. You have to choose one.
But
You can make new metaphors that aren't nonsensical.
well, like, which one of you skins the goat?
Yeah, that sounds vaguely dirty. I don't know.
Well, that's just the projection of your mind.
I don't know, like, just blood everywhere and, like, you ever, well, sheep mostly, but
Have you ever skinned an animal?
yeah, but you ever, like,
I have too.
but you ever been, like, near like, sheep are filthy, and, like, goats they have shorter fur, they're cleaner, but they're not much better.
Yeah.
Like, well, I think it can't be much worse than a sheep. Sheep are really filthy.
Well,
Like,
it depends on the sheep. If the sheep is in snow, they're a different type of filthy. Sheep are great. I love sheep.
I don't know, they're kind of
Bleh.
stupid.
They just stand there.
I don't really remember sheep
Bleh.
them that well when they used to be on the farm.
On the old farm.
On the old farm where I grew up.
Yep. Sheep just... See, a cow stands there and, like, chews its cud and goes moo and maybe walks about and has some thoughts of its own. And, I mean, that's a cow. Whereas a sheep, it stands there and goes, bleh, bleh. And that's all a sheep has to do, and it's a sheep.
Yeah.
And they're just so great.
See, that's what Kant was talking about. If we didn't have rational thought, we could still function. He says like animals, but you could say like sheep might be better because their instinct guides them enough. Like through
I don't think it's even instinct. I think they're robots. They're just...
Yeah, exactly. That's what he means by instinct. Just a pre-programmed response to everything.
Yeah.
Like he said, like his idea is we could have a pre-programmed response that makes us advance technology and stuff. So why do we have something counter to it? But my thought is it could just be like a fail-safe almost.
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe we wouldn't need a fail-safe if we... So maybe consciousness is important, but it seems like Gödel Box sort of argues that consciousness either isn't important or doesn't exactly exist. It's just
Gödel, Escher, and Bach all argue that?
No, the book does. By Hofstadter, Douglas Hofstadter.
There you go.
I'm sure people have heard of it. It's well, maybe, I don't know.
I'm sure people have heard of this book. It's quite famous. Just let me light up my pipe here. Very sophisticated. Now I'm going
Is
to
it
go...
sophisticated to say people have heard of a book that seems...
It's
I'm
sure you've heard of it.
Yes, I'm sure you've heard of Harry Potter. Oh, look at me,
I'm sure you've heard of Harry Potter. It's one of my less known works. That pseudonym I used. What was it again? Roald Dahl? No. Whatever that pseudonym was. Yes. Also, you might know me by my other pseudonym as J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm a very popular writer.
No, I'm just saying that I'm pretty sure Gödel Bach is one of those books that people have heard of. Oh, actually, I don't know. I didn't hear about it until recently, come to think of it. So maybe people haven't heard of it for the most part.
Yeah.
Although I don't want to... I'm doing it myself.
You don't want to assume?
Well, I don't want to say people.
People.
Because
you're usually wrong.
Well,
people are usually wrong when they talk about people.
Yeah, because it's a very large group.
Yes.
And who knows?
I've been tempted to say that... It's very hard to say that statement logically in a philosophy class. Where it's like, people are always going on about like how people are like this or people are like this.
Prove it.
That's much better. Prove it's much better than saying, well, actually, like, I'm very tempted to say the statements. I just feel like people are really hard on people. But even then, that's me using that. So it's maybe, I feel like you people are really hard on people.
That works better.
Yeah.
You people are really hard on yourselves. Yeah. Cheer up, see? So your university experience, college, not yet university. Once it'll be there. It just needs like 3 more people. But it's been more of a what do you call it? They've a lot of people down on themselves, sort of unhappy with everything.
That's my philosophy class.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy class.
It's a good place for people to be talking about.
They're more not so much down on. They're sort of down on themselves. They like. People are selfish, like I'm selfish. I see myself as selfish.
Have you read the Myth of Sisyphus yet? And
no.
Camus? Because I think he is like the best anti-nihilist, down on yourself guy out there.
No, I don't think we will be because we're doing ethics.
Right, but I think they talked about him when I was in that class.
Yeah, but then my English class is I don't know what that class is. The students in it are I think half of them are narcolepts or something.
Will they just fall asleep randomly?
Yeah, but in mentally capacity, like they just sit there and are in the class. That's not too nice to them.
What do you mean? They just kind of zone out?
Yeah.
Well, that's not narcolepsy. If they're not falling asleep, that would be
They're mentally narcoleptic. Or the teacher's just bored. No.
epileptics.
Mm.
Child epilepsy, anyways. I don't know about for adults.
Yeah, no, it's... And there's... I don't agree with a lot of the readings in the English class.
That's what the point of college, though. It's to broaden your horizons and give you lots to think about.
And
if you only read stuff you agreed with, you wouldn't learn anything.
in psychology, I feel like my teacher thinks that he's really compelling, charismatic, and he's only halfway there. And so he's all right to listen to, but he's not as funny as he's trying to be.
Well, you got to try somewhere. I mean, we're making this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, self-burn. But
Well, I think it's pretty good, except for the silent bits in
Yeah.
between where you apparently are talking.
and my class in psychology is just frustrates. I know they're trying to get the points. However, if they use their brains a little, it's just they're like, how do you spell this word again? What's the definition of that thing? Open up your textbook. He's literally reading from the textbook. It's right there.
Oh, they're asking questions when he's talking?
Yeah. So, well, that's fine, but he'll be talking, and then he's like, he'll be going along, and then he's like, penumbra, the outside of a shadow. He's never said that, but I'm just giving an example.
That was the joke example I was about to give.
Oh.
That's creepy.
Right, anyways, so it's like penumbra, outside the shadow, and then he says how to spell penumbra really quickly.
Yeah.
And he's doing that for people who aren't in the textbook or something, but everyone has a class of textbook. And so I'll be like, how do you spell that again? And could you say the definition again? And I have the textbook open up in front of me. And it's an edition older, but I'm still keeping up. And it's like, there's the word, how you spell it. There's the definition that he just said. Like, do a little bit of work. Or the worst one was additive and subtractive colors. Like, we spent too much time on that.
That was in your psychology?
Yes.
Oh.
It was like this sort of like offhanded thing he's talking about, which is like a question he puts on the test, the midterm, to make sure you do all the reading. And he's just like talked about quickly, and then people didn't understand it. So he talked about for 5 minutes trying to explain to them. He's like, does that make sense? And then someone's like, yeah, no, it doesn't. And subtractive is when you take away light. Additive is when you add light. One of them happens when painting, and that's subtractive. The other one happens when you're shining lights and using lenses.
Yeah, but how?
But how doesn't...
It's because you're when you do... And it sounds weird. Is the subtractive one the painting?
Yes.
See, that would confuse me. But, so, okay, what it is, though, is the additive with the light, right? Mm-hmm. Is you're adding together all the colors of a prism to get the pure white light again.
Yes.
Because it's been broken.
Yes, and with the subtractive, when you put paints together, they're masking out each other's colors.
Yeah.
So when you put green and red together, the green is getting rid of the red, redness, and the red's getting rid of the green's greenness, and you're left, and you have what's left.
It was like brown or black or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, but it took...
But it is a weird idea that it's different for...
But it took 5 bloody minutes for him to explain
5 minutes
it.
isn't that long.
It was very long for me.
See, there's this idea that there's only so many things you can care about in life. And...
You know what, Cameron? You can take that idea. There's only so many things you can care about in life, and you can shove it up your arse! Mark Manson's actually a pretty great writer. I really like his stuff.
Yeah.
Because he's so unapologetic in his writing. He's very much of stop being stupid sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like this is why you are wrong. Stop doing that. It is making you miserable. He's not like, so, you know when you do this thing and you feel kind of bad about it, it's like this, and you can make your life better by doing whatever. Mark Manson's like, you're being an idiot. Stop it.
Yeah. I think that's the advantage of the information age, is that there's a lot of different methods that speak to different people. Some people like that method, some people would hate that method, and people can find the one that they like, and then they think this person's the perfect fit for them, instead of people having to try to make a shoe-fits-all sort of approach. We can have specialists, which is quite good.
And we're specialists of rambling.
You're listening to the Fool and the Philosopher. Now, excuse me while I go tend to me pigs.
So I was thinking about Dungeon Lords.
Dungeon Lords, yes.
Yeah. And it's
A buggy mess of beauty.
yeah. No, it's an amazing game. And I think the reason why it's good... So Dungeon Lords is kind of like... I was playing it's kind of like Skyrim or Oblivion. It's third person. You go around with your hero. You can choose from a bunch of different classes, a bunch of different races.
Yeah.
And there's 3 different kinds of magic.
Yeah.
And you can be a warrior. And you get all these perks and stuff, so you can like jump further, or you can do backflips and all this cool stuff. And
Unlock more combos with weapons.
I'm not sure when it was made. Probably like 2005 or something. It looks about that era. Maybe a bit nicer.
Yeah.
Maybe 2006, something like that. And
You can barely see the edges on the polygons.
yeah, so it's pretty nice looking. Well, it's it was good for its time, kind of like Oblivion.
Yeah.
So that sort of graphics. So
Except as humans look human.
yeah, so it's an RPG basically, and I found it to be a really good game. But it has none of the stuff that makes a good game in it. It appears like on first glance. Like, it doesn't have any fast travel, which means you have to walk, like, to get to to do one quest. It requires you to go to a city and back, and the cities are 15 minutes apart.
Yeah.
And you just hold down like the forward button, and you go between the cities.
And
back
we
forth.
know how much time it takes. Because when we were younger, we had a limited amount of time we could play on the computer.
Yeah, we could play for half an hour a day or an hour every other day.
Yeah.
And so we would sit down for our half hour of the day, and we would we'd be playing for a bit, we'd get the mission, then we'd walk to the city, and then we'd be done for the day.
Yeah, it was situations where it's like, walking along the road, and a random encounter happens. No, go away, I don't have enough time to fight you.
Yeah, so we would like avoid random encounters because we had a time limit, which wasn't anything in the game. It was our own playtime. Yeah. What I would do sometimes is just hold down the forward button while not looking at the screen and pause my timer so that I could have more time staring at the computer. Yeah. So I could like use the computer longer and I'd just walk and like ignore any sounds and just like...
Yeah.
And you'd end up in like a random swamp way off the map by accident doing that. Water in the game made your movement about a quarter as fast. So walking through swamps... You purposely avoided water. Yeah. So it's really the really interesting part is it turned it into like those Skyrim mods that make it like a super hardcore survival game. It was that just because of our time limit, how far the distances were. We didn't want to get wet because it slowed you down like crazy.
And and monsters are horrible to fight.
The monsters in the game, they don't adjust your level at all. They're all region based. So if you leave the city and you go north, you will go to the hardest area in the game full of these giant poisonous worms.
And you'll die.
And they will just murder you. And there's nothing you can do. Well, you can.
Unless you're...
But you have to be really patient. Because they have like 1,000 health and you do 10 damage per hit. And if they hit you once, you die. The thing about the game, very similar to something like Mount and Blade or Skyrim. I think it's the best fighting system still I've ever seen in a game. Yeah. Only if you were touched did you actually get hurt, and only if you touched them did you hit, and you could swing your sword in different directions and back and forth. Yeah. So you could...
shields made you invincible.
Yeah, so you could actually fight, like in Mount and Blade or something. So you can actually beat like anything with enough skill. Yeah. Except for poisonous creatures because they cheat.
Yes, because they breathe poison gas at you and they make you cough, and you can't do anything while coughing.
Yeah, if you're coughed, you're stunned. And
So, this game sounds like your normal, I guess, sort of RPG. Like there's some elements, except the bugs in it are what makes it beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
So,
the Thieves Guild.
yes, so the Thieves Guild, you enter the Thieves Guild. The idea is you enter this new region of the city, and I read that it's supposed to be like 10 or 15 thieves spawn randomly in different areas, and you'll get attacked in like groups of 3 or 4. Instead, you get a couple hundred thieves that rush you the moment you teleport into the Thieves Guild.
Yeah, quite literally. It's like it's probably around 100 enemies.
Yeah, and they keep coming. Like, they don't stop. Mm-hmm. Their spawner is working overtime. It's like every like second a new thief spawns, and it starts with like 50 there or so.
Yeah.
And they are all higher level than you. The Thieves Guild is meant to be quite difficult. You're meant to run past them and get to the person to do the first quest.
Yeah.
Except you can't get to her because there's so many thieves you literally can't walk.
Yeah.
And you will basically die unless you have the right character build. You play really good. Like, my character was an assassin, which means they have a chance to just insta-kill someone. Mm-hmm. So I was able to just, by casting healing and like sitting there, I was able to fight my way through them until I leveled up like 7 times just trying to walk through them. And they keep spawning, so the only way to move is kill them faster than they respawn.
The abuse I found to get through that is I played a race which was a giant, and they're warriors usually.
Yeah.
And they have the special trait in the game, which is they can jump better than any other race.
Yeah, well, that's not... Is that their special, or is that just a glitch?
It's a glitch. They can jump better.
Because their model is their hitbox is twice as big as their model.
Yeah.
Which means they can actually hover off of edges of cliffs and stuff.
Yeah, and so they jump bigger as well.
Yeah.
And so what I did is I would back...
Well, they jump the same distance, but they can land without touching a platform.
And they can also jump higher.
Can they?
Yes.
Okay.
That is actually one of their traits.
Okay.
And so the abuse I found is because of their big hitbox and interactions with the game, you can land on enemies' heads.
Oh, and then just run across them.
And it's because the Thieves Guild is so overcrowded, I would backflip onto thieves' heads and stand on them and then kill the thieves around them. And only one thief could attack me at the time because I'm standing on his face. And so I'd kill the thieves all around him, and then I'd fight him. And so it's constantly just backflipping, landing on thieves, landing on objects that are slightly higher out of the way, and fighting them from vantage points with my warrior.
So the most important weapon in that game is throwing daggers. They're a ranged weapon with infinite ammo.
Or bows.
Or bows. But throwing daggers are easier to find. And bows are actually harder to aim because throwing daggers automatically hit.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you find an area that enemies can't reach because they don't climb or their hitbox work, and then you just throw daggers until they're all dead.
Yes.
At the start of the game, there's a sewer level to get into the city. And there's this giant troll. And he can't fit through a doorway. So if you just stand there, you can keep throwing daggers.
You stand
until
on
he
the
dies.
stage.
Yeah.
And you throw knives at him.
You throw knives at him until he dies. And then there's a second troll that gets caught walking against guards. So you just wait until the guards hit him until he's on 2 health, and then you throw a dagger.
Or you can stand on a lamppost and he can't get to you.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I'd stand on a lamppost and shoot arrows at him.
I don't know why this is, but you can kill like everything in the game but the guards.
Yes.
And the shopkeepers, I think.
Yeah, the guards and shopkeepers are invincible.
But everything else in the game you can kill, including like the statues and the final boss who's meant to be unkillable.
Yeah.
And
the army of the final boss who's meant to be unstoppable. You're meant to run away from it.
Yeah, and I killed the entire army.
Yeah, and the elven sentry gods who you're just supposed to like puzzle your way past.
Yeah, you can kill them.
Yeah, they're like these
giant statues
that shoot arrows at you or spells.
Yeah.
And you can kill them.
And so anyways, the game is this horrible buggy mess, essentially. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, why is this game good? Like, there's to get the fast travel in the game, you have to swim across an ocean to an island, and the swimming is it takes 10 minutes, and
that's why you cast water walking or flight.
Nothing to do. You just swim for 10 minutes, and then you get to this island with these incredibly powerful like lion creatures, and if you kill them, there's a small chance they'll drop a moonstone.
Yeah.
And each moonstone only activates 1 portal, and there's like 7 portals in the game. So what you do if you play this game is you kill enough of them to get enough moonstones, otherwise, because you never want to go to that island again.
It's horrible to go to.
Yeah, and also you don't know where the island is because the map is entirely hidden until you go there. So you just swim around the ocean looking for an island.
Game packed by the promise.
Entirely past the island, and then I had to go east and south because I was just in the middle of the ocean somewhere.
I had the high enough level cleric to cast water walking,
But yeah,
which is amazing.
yeah. If you ever or flight, like the clerics, I never played a cleric, but I saw them. I should have played a cleric because they can fly, which makes the game like 10 times faster.
Yes.
Like swamps, there will be a puddle in your way, and you'll actually want to walk like for 5 minutes on Earth around the puddle instead of go through the puddle.
Yeah.
Because puddles are that bad. So I was thinking about this, and I was like, why is this game so good? It's this horrible buggy mess. There's a part where you can't climb a ladder if you're too big, and you can't complete the game.
You have to
do a little weird cheat where you switch races, and then you climb up the ladder and then switch back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and there's like creatures, like there's in the Thieves Guild, there's a vampire that'll just kill you she'll kill you if you meet her because she's way too strong.
Mm-hmm.
And
unless you cheese it to
how you can't, she heals, so you can't even really.
No, how I cheesed her is know the Thieves Guild.
Yeah,
I have a swarm of thieves as a meat shield to her, so I would be jumping and shooting arrows at her, and she couldn't actually get to me because there's too many thieves in the way. And she couldn't like cast her sleep spell on me because it'd hit the thieves. And so I just jump around hiding behind the thieves, and that's how I beat her.
But yeah, like every single thing in this game will have a story about how we cheesed our way past it. And I'm pretty sure anyone that you ask who has played this game will say how they cheesed their way through it. Because it is a horrible broken mess. So anyways, I was wondering, why is this game so good? And my thought is it's more like a modded game than a game.
Yeah.
Because you know when you mod Skyrim and it's like really broken and weird, but you accept it because it makes the game so much more awesome in a lot of ways?
Yeah.
I think,
or just, oh, how ridiculous.
But I think that's what this game was like, because the spellcasting, incredibly overpowered in the game, but it's so cool. It's so fun to do. Like your the cleric spells, they never run out. They just slowly refill your spellbooks over time. The scrolls are fairly cheap and they're really powerful. And that's like the wizard spells you cast like from scrolls.
Or the spellbooks.
And so those like really slowly over time refresh. Actually, no, spellbooks don't refresh. You have to do something, right?
No, spellbooks, they refresh.
But cleric spells refresh faster then?
Or? Cleric spells, you can see the active ticker on them.
Yeah.
The spellbooks just refresh over time.
And then the nether magic, which is like the evil magic, is summoning creatures and casting various spells. And you take bits from all the creatures you've killed and you mix them in these random combinations, and you get like armies to serve you.
Yeah, no, that's actually one thing I really like. Like, no, those use like kill a rat and you get a rat tail. What the heck do I do with a rat tail? Well, you can sell it for like 3 gold and there'll be quests in the game. Then throughout the rest of the RPG, whenever you kill a rat, you get a rat tail. And you're like, what do I do with this? In this game, if you take a rat tail and mix it with some bone meal, you can summon rats to help you fight.
Get an army of rats. And there's no limit. You can just keep summoning them, as many rat tails as you have. You can summon hundreds of rats if you had enough rat tails.
Yes. Until you break the game.
Yeah. So it's... Oh yeah, and every time when we were walking in the woods, because there's random encounters, when new things spawned in, the game would freeze.
Because we had a really old computer.
Well, maybe. But so we were never surprised.
Yeah.
We always knew when a random encounter was coming. So it's just...
Oh, and that game is one of the scariest games I've played as well.
Yeah.
Because of just 2 monsters. In the Mustard Mansion, which is meant to be like the horror section of the game.
Oh yeah,
the mimics
that actually work.
Yeah, so they're chests, and it's like every game has mimics. Like Dark Souls even has mimics, and it's like, oh no, like mimics in Dark Souls really suck because like, ooh, a treasure chest, and then you get killed by a monster. In this game, you walk over to a chest, you touch it, giant spider legs come, this giant mouth opens up, and it's a monster that's actually deadly and you can't beat.
And it's terrifying to look at as well.
Yeah, and then they also release this horrible screaming noise.
And when you walk down corridors, giant black widows will sometimes crawl between like these cracks in the... Well, they're like these small little rooms between that you don't notice.
Yeah.
First time you play the game, and these giant black spiders will crawl between them, and they're like Skyrim spiders are kind of cute almost.
Yeah.
But these
in comparison,
these things are horrifying.
Yeah. So
they're kind of like in Skyrim the giant spiders that will be on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Except they look much more spidery,
and they wait for you to walk underneath them.
Yeah, and they don't know you're there.
Yeah.
Like they're horrifying.
Yeah, actually, though, with the corridors, since I've played the game so many times, I know where they come from.
Yeah,
and you can cheese it by shooting them while they're in the corridor.
And they won't leave because they don't trigger until you walk past them.
Yes.
So they'll just sit there and let you kill them.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's a cheese for everything.
Now, however, I can't recommend buying this game.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll get to that, actually. There's also the lockpicking in the game.
And trap disarming is the best of any video game.
It's the best in any video game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Because it's a little puzzle where it gives you 4 symbols, and you have to just simply press them in order when a bar passes over each symbol. And you have like a little command thing with all the symbols on it. And based on your lockpicking skill, the bar will move slower, giving you more time to press the buttons. Which means you can have a lockpicking skill of 0 and pick the hardest level lock if you're fast enough.
That's the thing, actually, I really like about Dungeon Keepers.
And you can, if you fail, you can try as many times as you want. You just get shot by a fireball every time you fail.
The thing I really like about Dungeon Keepers compared to a lot of other RPGs...
Dungeon Lord?
Yeah, Dungeon Lord.
Yeah, Dungeon Keeper is totally different game.
Different game. Dungeon Lords. Is, like, especially Fallout, like, compared to Skyrim, that's really ticked me off. Was like, you're not skilled enough to pick this lock. You're not skilled enough to hack this terminal. And then the latest game's like, you're not high enough level to even wield this rifle.
Yeah, if you go...
Dungeon Lords, you can wield any weapon, even if it's not identified.
Yeah.
You can use any spell. You can beat any enemy, like regardless of level. However, in regards to the casting of spells, when you cast them, they won't work, or you'll cast it once and then never again. Or like Nether Magic, you'll try to cast the most complicated Nether Magic spell, and it won't go off. And with the magic items, you're like, ooh, a wizard staff. You'll swing it about like a club until you learn how to use staves, and then you can start shooting fireballs with the staffs. But until then, you have no idea what you're doing with things, so you swing about club. Yeah. But you can still equip the item. And I just really like that. Like, there's no limiters.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
There's no limiters. Like, anything you can equip, it's just, it'll be useless. Like,
my character didn't use items. Yeah. But the cool thing was, there's a punching animation in the game, but if you play as the ninja class, which is a prestige class that you have to unlock later, you don't actually punch using the punch animation. You start doing martial arts.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah, well, like, the one thing I really liked was, there's an item I knew was better than the item I had, which was a sword.
Yeah.
And so I'd wield it. However, I discovered that since you don't know what it was, it actually doesn't have the stats that it should have. You have to identify it to unlock its magic powers.
The really interesting thing is, you can have an item that, like, I always found it weird in Diablo. Let's say you have an axe that does 1 to 8 damage. And then you have, so an average of 4.5 damage.
Yeah.
And then you have, like, a sword that does 4 to 5 damage. Yeah. And it's like, they're actually identical statistically. So which one do you choose? And you could say, well, I think I like to have a bigger area, or I do double damage, so this will hit really hard, so I'll take the axe. Or you can be like, I like a reliable, steady kick, so I'll take the sword. But it's actually the same kind of... This game, you might have the same weapons. Let's say the axe does 1 to 8, the sword does 4 to 5. Or let's say the axe even does 1 to 10, the sword only does 4 to 5. You might still choose the sword because you like its attack animation better.
Or it's just a faster animation.
Well, no, like even if the damage per second is less, its attack animation is more useful to you.
Yes, and the reach actually matters.
Reach is longer.
Reach matters. That's one thing I really like about that game.
And you can also like do a backflip and attack while doing the backflip and stuff. So, but yeah, and there's like weird. It's full of really weird design choices. Like only females can get the good classes in the game. There's like these prestige classes like Valkyrie. It's like a super cleric, way better. There's like a sorceress, which is like a wizard who's way better. Yeah. And you can't get these classes unless you're female. And there's like these weird, like to become the ninja class I was is very difficult. You have to do all these.
You have to hunt a dragon.
You have to do all these weird side quests. You have to You have to get dragon eggs. You never have to kill a dragon in the game. I don't think you're expected to kill a dragon in the game.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I killed the dragon because it got caught in a tree, and I just threw every spell and knife I had. Like I ran out of all my scrolls, all my spells, and just spent like an hour throwing a dagger at it. Yeah. And that was like my entire computer time for that day. And I went up like 2 levels from killing it. But it's just such a dumb, broken game, but it's good for it almost. It's like so bad it's good, sort of. But I don't even think it's bad. I think it's just this weird mesh of ideas, and it's like a really modded game. Like this big, lumbering, unpolished, unbalanced piece that's beautiful. And I think games have moved away from that to this like the polish is nice, sure,
Yeah.
but they try to go for this like balance where it almost makes everything the same and boring. Like Age of Wonders 1 versus Age of Wonders 3. Age of Wonders 1 spells are ridiculous. Spellcasters are stupidly powerful, but there's something magical on that. You can shoot a lightning bolt and it'll take out an entire army, and you're like, I am a wizard. Or you can flood the entire world and everything will drown, and you're like, I'm a wizard.
Yeah.
And number 3, much more balanced, but every spell is like, do you want to use a fireball or a lightning bolt? Well, they do 3 damage.
Yeah.
So it...
Whereas, just like the weird design choices as well, like the race that I picked to play the game as is the worst race in the game.
Yeah.
Like they're the big lumbering ogre men that have weird hitboxes, and it's fun that they have better jumping than everyone else, but...
necessary in the Nega Temple. I hated that.
Well, Nega Temple is so easy.
Nega Temple is full of jumping puzzles and they're incredibly difficult, but his thing could do it so easily.
Yeah, but the problem with them is they're the worst race in the game, and races are actually kind of important.
Yeah.
And they decide to do the scaling thing where everything scales up exponentially, except the ogre scales down exponentially in his skill.
Yeah, he starts by far the best and becomes worse quickly.
Yeah, like his leveling up actually gets worse each level.
Yeah.
And other races get better. And so when I started playing again, I chose like one of the best races in the game, which is this little goblin man.
Yeah.
Who has
amazing at magic.
He's amazing at magic, and he also has a jumping bug because he was so small and wasn't a dwarf. We're like, okay, we want to make him nimble. And apparently the bug is in their making him nimble, they tried to add a multiplying value to his jump.
Yeah.
However, his jump was like only a little bit worse than everyone else.
Yeah.
But they gave him a 1.5 times jump because they thought he was 1.5 times worse or something. And so he can just fling himself because he can jump like an extra half distance than everyone else.
Yeah, like the jumping in the game is ridiculous. If you have one of them and you fully level up their jump, you can jump across a moat and skip the whole quest trying to get the key to the castle.
Yeah,
you can just jump across a moat.
It's the little goblin man and the giant ogre can both skip the jumping.
And there's walls you can, like there's a wall to a city that you have to get a key for. I just backflipped over the wall because backflipping's so broken.
Yeah.
But then I couldn't get back into the city.
Yeah, and the say actually doesn't spawn right.
Yeah, so it was like, it's just so
It
wonderfully broken. And there was one more thing on that. I don't remember. But yeah, I like you were saying, if you want to experience this for yourself, I'm not sure how.
like find the old copy somewhere of the game.
Do not buy the
Steam version.
2015 version. It's called the MXV or something.
Yeah.
Because that is a remastered edition where they fixed all the fun bugs
And tried to rebalance the game so you can't even like do all the broken.
Oh, that was the thing. Like the asymmetry, they're not afraid of. Like it's like in Age of Wonders 1, every race is totally different. Age of Wonders 3, the classes are different, but not hugely. They all still fight, right? Like every class still shoots bullets and stuff, and well, not bullets, but shoots and
projectiles and
projectiles
hits each
and
others
fights.
with weapons.
Whereas in this game, if you're a cleric, you can fly across the water, and your game experience is totally different. Like it's an entirely different game based on which class you choose to play
So
as.
the class you said like it's a melee hero
Yeah.
and has a chance to one-shot things. Now the other class in the game that has a chance to one-shot things is called a Deadeye.
And they're ranged.
And it uses a bow and has a chance to one-shot anything with an arrow. And it's just absurd.
But even that's like similar. But I'm saying like every class, like if you play as the gnome, you can skip the entire quest to get into the castle. You can just jump across the moat. If you play as a cleric, you can fly across the water and skip all that. If you play as
the wizards,
a woman, you can go in all these cool prestige classes.
If you play as the dwarf, I think they have a unique thing about their armor. Like there's the one few cases, I think the dwarves have a special zone they can enter.
Yeah.
Where they get items that no one else can get. And so there's this area only dwarves can get, and they're like really awesome armors that only dwarves are allowed to.
Well, there's a lot of
go
prestige
into.
areas as well.
Yeah, but like the dwarves have this special zone that only they are allowed to enter, and it's these heavy armors they can wear that look really cool.
Yeah, and like there's a boss in the game. Kind of reminds me. He's covered in these like flaming skulls. If you touch them, you take like 90% of your health and damage. But you can just drink health potions and stand in their path and get rid of all the flaming skulls, and then just punch him because he has nothing to defend him.
Yes.
And it's
the health potions in the game are absurd.
Yeah, and the spells and the but yeah, the game, they updated it, they fixed all the fun bugs, they rebalanced it, which means they got rid of the ability to cast, like, you can no longer...
Beat every single class.
Yeah.
You can't use every single spell. You can't use all the items.
So they just sort of... They made the game a much more balanced, polished product. But
it's
game,
not actually a good game.
It wasn't... It has a lot of good ideas, but they got rid of them in the balancing almost.
Yeah.
It's like if Age of Wonders 1, they're like, this is a pretty solid game, but it'd be a lot more balanced if we got rid of the flood spell and the fire spell because they're unbalanced.
Yeah.
When that is why it's fun.
Yeah.
Even if they might not be unbalanced.
Or I don't know, like what's it like? Overwatch, I guess. This is a reference to another game. It's like the asymmetry in Overwatch is a little too much. The heroes with melee attacks are just like they're not good, so we're going to get rid of all melee attacks for heroes.
Yeah. They just sort of get rid of the fun idea.
Mm-hmm.
To balance it. So I think the designer of the game had a lot of really cool ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the first game showed all his cool ideas, but the game was a mess.
Yeah.
But it was good mess. But then they fixed the game, but instead they fixed the balance, what they viewed as balance issues, to make every class have the same leveling experience.
Yeah.
When really, I think, like, roguelikes actually have this where you want to play as the tourist, go ahead. It's going to be a different game.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot harder, but if you want to play the tourist, play the tourist. If you want to play the ogre class, play the ogre class. It's just going to be harder.
Yes.
Although the one thing is the ogre class is actually
broken.
It's kind of boring as well. Like, so that's one thing I could see where they... But instead of nerfing everyone to be as boring as him, just make the ogre class like, all right, we're going to make him scale linearly because...
And he can break down doors. That would be awesome.
Yeah, something like that. Because he's not... Like, his thing is, he is supposed to get weaker than all the other classes near the end. That is his design. He's supposed to start really good and get worse. But it's too much. So maybe if they made it... He has a linear increase while everyone else is exponential or something.
Yeah.
But instead, he just, like, slows down to a crawl.
Yeah.
And
he's not worth... And you can't actually beat the game with him.
Yeah, and he can't be a lot of the cool classes. Like, he sucks as a wizard, and he's only male, so he can't be any of the special classes.
Yeah.
And...
That's
the other thing. It's so weird. It's like...
Only humans and elves can be females.
Yeah, it's like... Or, I know, I think other races might be, but there's like...
No, it's only humans and elves.
But then, yeah, like the gnomes are only males. The
dwarves are only males.
Dwarves are only males.
The lizard men are only males, and the wolf people are... No, the wolf people might be male and female.
Yeah. I thought there was like an only female. Maybe not.
No. So the lizard men in that
breathe
game
underwater, right?
have the most overpowered ability. Like, no, in Skyrim...
Yeah,
so in Skyrim,
Argonians.
the Argonians can breathe underwater. It's like, woohoo. In this game, the lizard men can breathe underwater, and it's amazing.
Yeah, because there's no other way to breathe underwater.
Yeah.
Well, the Argonians are nice that way because they can get the treasure. But in this game, there's a lot of treasure underwater, and there's a lot of creatures. But in this game, you can actually fight underwater, but it's really difficult unless you're the lizard guys.
Yeah, and the wolf person is nice because he's fast.
Yeah.
That's the thing I would give for
Travel
the wolf.
faster.
Yeah, he like the 15-minute walk. It's a 10-minute walk for him. Yeah. It's actually incredible.
The fast travel points are also really dumb in the game. Like, there's a major city that you have to go back to a lot. The fast travel point's like a 5-minute walk away.
Also,
so you have to
the fast travel in the game. You have to discover the fast travel points to even activate
first,
them.
You have to get those moon gems I was talking about, but you also have to get the codes to each of the
and you have to
teleporters.
type in the codes each time.
Yeah, and so I always had like a spreadsheet up of all the spell combinations for Nether and all the
wiki on my iPod.
Yeah, because
it's a game you need a wiki open to play.
Yeah, which is I think that's one thing they could maybe change, but at the same time, I don't know. There's something magically broken about that whole mess.
Yes. A game you have to have a wiki open to play. It's like NEI. Like with Minecraft, not enough items or just enough items. Like, and like to play this mod, you need this NEI.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just thought Dungeon Lords. I just wanted to talk, just like give a, I don't know. It's
a good game you can't play.
Yeah.
You've inspired me to look again for a retro version. Or maybe even in the Steam version, you can like launch a retro version.
Yeah, that'd be because we own the Steam version.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the old version was just so magical
and
horribly broken, and I'd like to see like a mod for it.
Yeah. So, the beginning of the game, this is just like a little intro into like you can kill any NPC sort of thing that's not essential, or not. No, sorry, you can anything that's not a shopkeeper or a guard.
Yeah.
Like, so there's this goblin at the very beginning of the game. Like, you're trying to get into the city and you can't. And a goblin comes up to you and says, "Follow me. I know a secret way into the city." And you're like, okay, you follow him. Then you get ambushed.
Yeah. It is.
However, if you're aware he's going to do that,
you can just kill him.
you can kill the goblin outright when he's standing there.
Yeah, and you can actually, what I like to do is I let him lead me into the ambush, but because it's like a normal RPG where he talks to you as you walk and you can just not follow him, I'll walk into the bushes where I know his friends are, because they don't actually, I quite like this, they don't spawn them in when the ambush starts, they're actually hiding in the bushes.
Yeah.
So I'll just walk behind them and take them out, and then, while nobody else notices, and then,
Yes.
get him! And nothing happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've started that game a lot, but because the sewers are so difficult. Like the start of the game is incredibly hard.
And the city's incredibly hard.
The city's okay, but then leaving the city's incredibly hard. And then after you beat the Thieves Guild, though, you're basically golden because you have 1,000,000 XP at that point.
And a lot of money.
Yeah.
And all the potions.
Yeah. Well, and pro tip, you can actually insta-kill the final boss using the horn. You just free the wizard and he kills the final boss. Because instead, I fought the final boss for 2 hours, I think. It took me several days.
Yeah, and then...
just chipping away at his, 1,000,000 health.
And then the game didn't end, and Cameron was really confused. And I said to Cameron, because I'd been watching him do this, I was like, you're supposed to blow the horn and it'll free the wizard. Like, the whole game is you're gathering up magic items
to build a horn to free the wizard so he can stop the evil being.
Yeah.
But instead I just killed the evil being because I didn't know what else to do.
Yes.
And then he's like, all right, I've defeated the beast. Well, I was taking my credit. And then he's like, now stop. You must run ahead of the armies and warn the people. And so I teleported to the start of the armies, and it's this huge army that you're supposed to run away from. And after beating that demon, I was feeling pretty cocky, so I just killed the entire army. It's not hard, actually. It had 3 trolls in it and a couple goblins. So, yeah, gloriously a mess. Yeah.
So...
Hello, you're listening to The Fool and the Philosopher with Cameron and Connor.
Other glorious messes.
Yeah.
Leonard Nimoy reads Bilbo Baggins song.
Yeah.
That's... There's something about the tricky guys where they can't sing, but they tried anyways. There's something admirable about that. Like Leonard Nimoy and not Patrick Stewart, what's his name? Captain Kirk's. Yeah, just they're singing, like they can't sing, but they try.
Yeah.
Something admirable about that. I really like the Bilbo Baggins song. Although a lot of people don't, and I don't know why. Like, people say they get nightmares about it. What made me think of that was, earlier you were singing The Greatest Adventure.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting song. It's how saying you can sit on your ass all day and read about adventures, but eventually you'll realize you haven't done anything with your life.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to put in a movie.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. It's a song though about the inspiration of going on an adventure and how awesome it is, and actually doing it yourself, and
Actually taking your life into your own hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good song. I like it. The Hobbit movie's great. Like the
animation.
The animated one, yeah.
Yeah, where Smaug looks like a giant cat that drools acid.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Shit. Oh, my mouth is dry. You want to call it there? Or do you have more you want to...
No, I have nothing else. If you're done,
All right.
we can finish up this, I don't know, 50 minutes talking about Dungeon Lords and some other stuff, talking about boring other guff and being serious and grumpy and saying, yes, I think this, and...
That's not grumpy. I think it's quite positive.
I know, it's still I think it's actually this, and I'm lecturing, I'm talking concerns and seriously about...
lecturing, I'm thinking.
Alright, I'm thinking, yes.
There's nothing wrong with thinking. There's nothing wrong... I think there's a lot to be taken from the...
thoughts that you have in your brain when you speak.
No, I think the way to understand your thoughts is to talk about them, and to think, and I think that there's I don't know if it's useful to others, but it's useful to me anyways.
Yes, it's useful to you. This is what it's all about.
It's got to be about something.
Yes. Yes, when I really asked you what's our mission statement, the mission statement is, Cameron, dear diary, except Cameron needs to talk, and he needs someone to be his audience.
Yeah, should I? Well, I guess if you're bringing that up again, I could read that letter.
Yes, that's right. Yes, let's read that letter.
All right.
Get a drink of water, though, a little sippy sip. After all that excited squeaking and going on about Dungeon Keeper. Yeah, you know that like whole stereotype of like when people talk about like those Valley Girl gossipers, like, oh my God, Steve's so whatever and so handsome, cool, I like going out with him.
Yeah.
We're basically doing that, except we're saying, oh my God, Dungeon Keeper's so cool. Dungeon Lords are so
Discussion about
cool.
it, you mean?
Yeah, but I mean that's what those Valley Girls are actually doing.
Yeah.
That's the level they're communicating on.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. If you're excited about something and you want to share it, yeah, discussion about something you're really excited. I think, I have this thing, right, where if someone really believes in something, ASMR, like those tappy taps and those whisperies.
Yeah.
I think you listen to that.
I have.
So it doesn't really do it for me. I don't feel like tingles up my spine and feel all happy and relaxed and stuff so much. I find it relaxing, but not like super relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
But when people really believe in something, or they're pretending they believe in something, like scam artists, or like those sort of people, where they're like, there's ads on you, or like, what's his name? Ty Lopez with his like, I want to help you with this thing. Those things, that's what...
Here in my garage.
Yeah, that's what sends a little tingle up my spine when someone's like really believes, and something's really excited about something, believes in it. First time I noticed was in daycare when I was 3 or so. And my friend was like, I'm going to make you coffee. And he stuck some ice cream scoops into a cup and was like, pretending to pour in coffee and all this stuff. And he put in like whatever toy food we had into the cup as well. And he's like, here's your... And that just, he believes it's coffee. And so, ooh. And when someone's like, I'm going to scam you. Here's a scam. You're going to fall for my scam. It's going to make you lots of money. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to make you money because I've got a scam. I'm like, ooh, scam.
Well,
I once turned on one of those ads where they're like, in just a moment, I'm going to tell you how to get this diet tip. It's great. It's like, a lot of people have these methods. In just a moment, if you keep listening, I'm going to hear. And then this method is really good. And it's like an hour video.
And you took a nap. You're like,
I just listened to one of those once and I was like, I love those.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was related to, but yeah. I love those.
No, you're talking about your ASMR of tappy taps. Don't know why. However, that whole thing of like
the Valley Girl gushing. Yeah,
yeah,
it's like that. When someone really believes in something,
yeah,
and like, or they're pretending to or something. I don't know. I like it. It's like, it's good for them,
It's good for the soul.
Yeah, I'm glad that they are so excited about something.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh no, I was basically equating us talking to Dungeon Keeper though. Dungeon Lords, as excited squeaking. Like puppies yipping about freshly fallen snow.
Right. So let's set the stage. It's 2015. I'm in my 3rd year of university.
All right.
Writing class. I submit an essay. I get a 68% on it. They send back a note that says this. I suggest here that you need to
I suggest here that you need to focus more on the story you're staging than staging of your story. I see that you do have a story here, but you've given us basically no details about it, how it happened, how it felt, why it happened. We know nothing about your characters. We only know a few things that have happened to them throughout their lives. It would be better, with such a short work, to focus in on a few characters at a point in their lives, and on one incident in which those characters had a lot at stake. You have chosen an incident and its aftermath, but as I said, there's no focus to this play. You've spread a thin layer of story across this stage, and it comes out being simply confusing and not engaging to the audience. How are we to care about something we only know vague details about that happens to a character we know nothing about?
So, I want to be reasonable and give both sides their due process of fair. So that was their...
You're trying to make them sound better?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't want to seem unreasonable and not give them their fair thing, so yeah. I'm trying to make them seem as good as possible. So that's what they said about my masterpiece. So I wrote this reply letter to them, and it went, I think you fundamentally did not understand my play, and I wonder if you have seen and acted in many plays or merely written them. There are 3 actors in my play. The rest can be mimed or changed at the director's discretion. All the actors are male, and hence my use of him rather than his or her. But your inability to see how to stage the play could be my own fault. I was told by a playwright and several editors that it was too obvious, but clearly not. The mechanics aside, you have marked the wrong assignment. The goal of the instructor is not to tell a student if their work has successfully fallen within the limited confines they envision, but to see what the student attempted and where they succeeded and fell short. My play was not about one point in a character's life. My play demonstrated how much stays the same. It was a commentary on time and living, not on emotions, which is a fairly petty thing to base a work around anyway. You ask how you can care? I ask, how can you not? You see a man at his most vulnerable, in love, fear, and hate, at 3 points in life, and you cannot love him? What does that say about you, or your opinion on other humans? I must thank you, though. You made me realize that going into your creative writing program was one of the most foolish things I have ever done. I am not skilled and talented, and my works may very well be rubbish, but neither my 3 poems nor my play were marked for what they attempted. And that's the end.
Henceforth, I remove myself from your...
You shall not have my talent, curse you!
You do not deserve it. It is because of you the world shall never see my
You
true
caused
glory.
the rain!
Yes. It's...
I feel like there's probably a subreddit for, like, I am very smart or something that this belongs on.
Well, there is a piece of work that's very close to that, which is the guy saying that the editors are brought about his writing never being the world because they could not appreciate for his greatness.
Yeah, so...
However, knowing... This is to be said. However, knowing the play that you wrote, and then the comments he made on it,
He has no soul.
he didn't do a very good job of understanding the play. Because it's rather straightforward. And like you said, several playwrights read it, and several actors.
Instead, it's too simplistic.
Yes, and like hearing that, it works. It definitely works, and it's a cool story.
Yeah, it might not be a very well done one.
Yeah,
I guess.
But the way...
I don't know. I don't want to say that it's good.
Yeah,
it could be terrible.
I'm not saying it's good or bad.
Yeah.
But just based on what he said, he didn't read it or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or understand it.
The mark might have been reasonable, but the reasoning was not.
Yes.
I think.
No, that's the... Like, I had a bit of, like, with the essay I wrote, I was like, oh, I got this mark.
But...
And I feel like I deserve a higher mark. And I went to talk to teacher about it. Then after our conversation, he's like, but you can argue with me why you think you deserve a higher mark. And I was like, nope, you convinced me. I deserve the mark you gave me. You're a very convincing person. You gave good reasons. I totally agree with you. Thank you for the mark I got. I'm happy I even got that.
And then you should have got me to write you a letter. You cannot possibly understand the depths of my thinking when I wrote this essay. You imbecile, I can't believe you were put in charge of a philosophy class when all you do is contemplate your own navel. What's this?
Contemplate your own navel.
Oh, belly button lint and its values on the moralizing of Kant, I see. Well, you're worthless. You...
Wait, does navel gazing mean you stare down at yourself?
You're just looking at your belly button.
Okay. I think he's more like... He gazes at the ground and he gazes at the sky. Yeah. He's an interesting fellow.
Ideas were simplistic and perfectly written, but you, moron that you are, could not understand even the most basic of my presuppositions. Which you're not
Didn't you write a piece, though, that I hate you or something?
I wrote a poem. Yes.
And did you hand that in?
Yes.
And he's like, you have a lot of anger and unresolved problems.
No, they just gave me a low mark and were like, you didn't rhyme this properly here or something. I don't remember.
It's not even meant to be a rhyming poem, you imbecile!
No, I did rhyme. I thought it was a good poem, actually. Yeah. I still do, rereading it, but I don't know. That was... I was in a bad way when I wrote that. I'm not sure if it's...
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
I don't know if
For me, my piece of work, which I got really uppity about, was a poem I wrote for grade 12 English. And she wanted like a certain theme in it. And I had that theme. And I was like, it's really confusing, jumbly to read. And it's because I wrote a poem made of internal rhymes.
Yeah.
Which to be fair, I didn't do the best job of it. However, it had internal rhymes and ending rhymes. And it is basically a poem made out of like those tools.
Yeah, but if it's jumbly and confusing, I can see that.
Yeah, but our like thing was meant to prove our knowledge of how to use those.
But still, you want to...
Yeah, no. The next poem I wrote was much better. The next 2 poems I wrote were much better.
But yeah, I think I overreacted slightly. I just
Yes,
I wasn't happy at the time.
Your overreaction is my amusement.
And it does seem a little arrogant in retrospect.
No, you're justified.
Because I am an incredible artiste, and I'm a misunderstood genius.
Yes. I know you're a... I wonder if everyone who is like that is just at a bad point in their life. Because I'd be concerned about someone who actually, 5 years after writing something like that,
Yeah.
still
Like,
felt self-righteous.
well, I don't know. I still kind of... I'm not happy with a lot of decisions that they made.
Yeah, but I mean, do you feel like that was a good piece of writing that would change the world?
Well, I don't know if I ever felt that.
Well,
I just...
you see,
But,
I had this dream a long time ago. I know you don't like talking about dreams.
well, it depends
Right.
how it's done.
But the
Most of the time.
The premise of the dream is basically explained to me that being clever doesn't help you in situations in trying to prove that you're right. Or trying to prove that someone else is an idiot.
Yeah.
I've touched on this before, but I think I've come to understand more, which is when someone is being rude or misunderstanding you, or they're like, I think this because of this.
Yeah.
Calling that person an idiot does nothing.
Yeah.
No matter how clever you do at calling them an idiot, does nothing. It might make other people around you snicker. However, if your goal, which a lot of time your goal is...
My God, you're right. I am an idiot.
Yes. If your goal is to actually change their opinion, or maybe you should stop doing that
How have I
behavior.
been so blind?
Maybe you should stop doing that. Oh God, the worst thing I did was these kids were flipping swings around in the playground, and I was told them stop doing that. Why are you doing that? And it's because it's fun. Why is it fun? And I don't know. It's well, obviously you're doing it to lash out at other people because you didn't have a very good childhood and you're raised poorly. And I was just such a jerk to them.
Jeez, the more I learn about you, I didn't realize you were such a self-righteous busybody.
But it was around that time actually I had that dream. Yeah, so I realized that doesn't work.
It was a sign.
Yes, no, being a self-righteous busybody doesn't work. Being aha, I am more clever than you. Therefore, you now understand.
Well, the secret is you make it clever enough and complicated enough that they don't understand it, so you can insult them without them realizing it, and then you get to smile, you get to snicker smugly at them.
No, that doesn't work. The goal is to help the person or change the behavior.
You shouldn't try to change people, Connor. You can only change yourself.
Mom, I can change you right now. You are in a state of no pain. I can put you into pain.
Actually, you say that, but...
He's taking off his shirt. Or sweater. Oh, he's got a bruise on his arm. What did you do to yourself?
I have no idea.
I always like those bruises.
It's huge, though.
I think my, I don't know if it's my favorite random injury.
Taking off my sweater, not my shirt.
Yeah, you take off sweater. My favorite random injury is I came home one time, and my mom looked at me. I was like, where'd you get that cut? What cut? The one on your arm. And I looked down at my arm, and my arm was covered in blood up to the elbow. It's from halfway down my shoulder to my elbow is blood, and there's this massive gash. I was like, I don't know. Ow, that hurts. But I'd walked home all happy and not noticing, came inside. And it's obviously the blood was dried at that point. It's just this massive wound. I find those always sort of amusing to discover those injuries.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or the waking up with a nosebleed sucks. But it's I woke up one time and I was all right, what's going on with my arm? And I had this massive bruise around my arm. And I think I slept on my arm or something. Probably cut off circulation. Just discovering things you're not expecting that actually have a bit more impact than you think, I guess, is more than just I like being injured and then finding out about it.
Yeah.
It's more of just what? Okay, that's funny. You see a dog, you're oh, well, a cute dog, and then you keep on walking. Then you turn back and realize it's a humongous cat. That's amusing.
Yeah.
It's that's not a dog, it's a cat. Or what was the one? I think I was in Costa Rica. This was actually more horrifying. I was like, huh, that's a weird bumblebee crawling about on the ground. I wonder what it's doing there. Then I looked closer at, and it was a spider. And it was a spider that looked like the bumblebee and was the size of a bumblebee. And I was like, ooh. Ugh, imagine a spider with wings.
Ooh.
Splat! Gets your face. Like legs wrap around your head, and it's like...
Well, that'd be a very large spider.
Yeah.
The world is not but a sad state of monotony and misery. However, there is one light in the darkness of my hollowed soul, and that is listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Would you ever have a pet tarantula?
No.
How much money would I have to give you to have a pet tarantula?
You have to pay for everything for the tarantula.
Okay.
And in addition, I'd want, like... What's the minimum amount I'd take?
Yeah. You still have to, like, take care of it. You just have the supplies.
I don't know. It wouldn't be that bad. Like 5,000, 1,000, couple hundred, something like that.
Speaking of this, actually, this is
I wouldn't feel good, though, because it seems cruel to keep a tarantula a pet. I don't know.
Yeah.
They need to be free.
Release them into the wild in your local park.
Yeah.
You know that whole scene where like they open up those cages and like seals run free back in the ocean after
Or, like,
cleaning them up
penguins
from,
or something?
from oil?
Yeah,
Just
just
boxes
tarantulas.
full of tarantulas and spiders and snakes, and you open up in a park and they all rush out. It's
Go
like
free.
and the happy music's played and then
Tarantulas
people are
swarming across the park.
Yeah, but so back when we were talking about the Evil Corp and the wishes,
Yeah.
I realized
I mean the evil.
Yeah, Evil Corp. I realized something very interesting that we did inadvertently. I didn't know about until afterwards. But there's this game called $1 Million But.
Yeah.
And it's basically like these people have this situation that's like, you get $1 million, but you have to have some other condition.
Yeah.
And we were doing that sort of with wishes.
Yeah.
Like, you get $1 million, but you have to curb stomp someone.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, there's situations, some of them pretty funny, like, I don't know if they came up with the idea, like, I'm not saying they came up with the idea, but, like, they actually, like, do animations, like, not animations, but, like, little skits showing what happens.
Yeah.
And, it's a game they play, so, like, each person around the table does it. It's like, I'll give you $1 million, but, every morning you are awoken by a marching band. So other things, and then they like discuss it. And I was like, I don't know, it could be like really good. Like, hey, check out this party trick. And you like fall asleep, and then you wake up, and there's a marching band. Or like one of the ones which was really amusing was like, once a month, or once a year or something. Like you get $1 million, but once a year, you for 48 hours, you become the FBI's and like National Security's most wanted man. But after they capture you and the 48 hours is up, they say, oh, sorry, it's a mistake. And they drop you off from whichever hidden prison they had and just leave you...
Well, that sounds fun because the FBI is restricted to the United States, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's just the whole thing, like you're...
It'd be illegal for them to act up here.
Like, you're not... Whatever, the Canadian, like... Thing. I'm not saying for us, but they just, like, talk about the different things.
CSIS?
Yeah, or, like, one of them is, every time you, eat, like every time you hear your name, every time someone says your name,
Yeah.
a football jock tackles you, like a full football player just runs forward and tackles you. And so they just had like a bunch of various things. And I realized we kind of inadvertently played that game, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well,
And then I found out about it afterwards.
yeah.
It sort of stems from the whole thing though. It's like, what's the minimum amount of money you'll have for this? And the game's like, would you take the $1 million or not?
Yeah. I think mine was more to try to slide you into evil. But...
Yeah, but then I turned with like the
Yeah.
game The Wish. I was also trying to slide you into evil, except it was a little more extreme.
Yeah.
And his wishes instead of $1 million.
Yeah.
But still, it's very amusing, I found.
Sounds like a fun game.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you could have like counter offers like I don't know how that'd work. It'd be like bad stuff almost. Or no, it could be good stuff. Like, would you rather have the ability to fly or the ability to breathe underwater? And then you're like, breathe underwater. You're like, all right, breathe underwater or
Turn dirt into lava.
or maybe you try to go for the worst superpower you'd accept. So okay, fly or walk twice as fast. Fly. All right. Walk twice as fast, or
Yeah. Walk twice as fast or sneeze nails.
but then there's a point where, how would you do it? Because you wouldn't accept the sneeze nails one almost.
But what if you could like stick them into walls and
Yeah, but no. Maybe it's like, which one of these is the minimum you're willing to accept? Like,
yeah. Yeah, well, like sometimes with $1 million, they like try like come up with really horrible situations.
yeah.
But then they're like, no, I'd totally take that. Like without the $1 million, like one of them was you get Muppet arms, but they still have your same strength as before. But it's like Muppet arms with like the little like hand thing that moves about, so it's always in the background. They like move about. So I love it. Like because I'm already like a really strong guy. Like go to the gym and work out, and people be staring at you and like tiny little arms, or like lifting weights, and it's like, all right, go ahead, arm wrestle you, and you can make a lot of money because first it's like, oh. Okay, yeah, I'll arm wrestle you, and people are betting, and like you're going, and it's like, and the little Muppet arm beats them. Like,
Actually, that's a good one. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or fly?
Ooh,
Because the thing about being able to breathe underwater is you can't drown.
yeah.
That could come in handy.
I think flying could be really cool because you could like go places.
Yeah, but you know,
It'd be cold.
not drowning.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird when you get into that mindset though, because then you think like, wow, I got to choose the water one because I don't want to be able to drown. Because I can't drown in real life, so I need to take the power that prevents me from doing it in this fantasy as well.
However, so being able to fly, right?
Yeah.
Like you can go places. It might be cold traveling.
Yeah.
Being underwater though, you have to get wet.
It'd be very cold. Yeah.
And also, like, there's the things underwater, like all the gross stuff that lives underwater that you have to deal with. Whereas flying, like, you can get away from gross. There's nothing, like, underwater, there's no sky jellyfish.
Yeah.
Like, imagine how horrible the world would be if the air was like the water.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, humans would probably try to kill everything in the air to get rid of it. Like the deep sea creatures, like, imagine if those things were flying about, like, just the what are they called? The vampire octopus just like drifts about and like no, go away. Or like the black dragons with those like eels that are invisible.
Hatchet fish.
Yeah, hatchet.
Actually, okay, superpower. It's just a would you take it?
Yeah.
Right? Every night you're accompanied by a choir of hatchet fish.
That just like swarm out of the darkness around.
Yeah.
Just like,
They look like these
damn souls.
damn souls, yeah. If you look, you can look them up.
All right, Cameron.
Yeah.
So, give you a superpower. What would you take a superpower? You can remove your head,
Yeah.
and you're still living. You can like look about with it.
Yeah.
But whenever you remove it, your head turns into a blobfish. And you can just leave it places, and it'll look, and then your body can walk about. You won't be able to see, but you can like take off your head and put it around a corner, then put it back on again. And
I guess I would take it because why not? But I don't know if I'd use it that often.
you know, blobfish actually aren't hideous underwater. It's
Yeah, they explode in those pictures that you see.
yeah.
Yeah, because they're deep sea. But
Would you rather have the choir of hatchetfish like floating? No, what was it? Would you rather do yes, sea cucumber, right?
Yeah.
So when they're scared, they vomit their guts.
Yeah.
So you can either have the power of a sea cucumber,
Yeah.
or the power of a hagfish. Except you affect air like a hagfish.
Just fill it with slime.
Yeah, so you turn the air into slime.
Yeah, the hagfish definitely.
All right, but you have to traverse through this awful smelling slime.
Yeah, but they do all right with it.
So you're not sea cucumbers.
No, I mean that would easily terrify anything. Like a bear's coming at you, just.
But don't the sea cucumbers also abandon their guts
Yeah. No,
because they regenerate them
Yeah, they like vomit their insides.
and then regenerate it?
Yeah.
Imagine like the superheroes who have like the powers of animals.
They're very
except
easy to,
scare.
no, I hope not, because then that'd be terrible. Like, but no, they to cook up and eat because they're empty.
Ah, really?
No, I don't remember if ours was or not. We might have had to gut it, but
Yeah, but imagine like
actually that'd be terrible. What you terrified? Oh man, that seems.
imagine like a YouTuber who's also a sea cucumber and playing a scary game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just Yeah.
You do have the regenerative power, though.
Yeah. But no.
But you're getting mugged in the street, Cameron?
Oh yeah, that would scare off any muggers easily.
Like, maybe the slime to go ew and then, like, get through it to like, come after you. Our mugger's like, give me all your money. Takes out the flip knife, and you're like, ah! And then you vomit your guts all over them.
His heart bounces off their head.
But just like saying before, like, you have the superpowers of animals, except they're deep sea animals or something.
Yeah.
Like, I can make appendages above my eyes that appear smaller or bigger, so you think I'm walking towards you in the dark.
Ooh. I mean, anything like that, it's just an extra, so it's kind of fun, isn't it? Like, I would take the power to vomit my guts over no superpowers.
Really?
Oh yeah. I could see that saving my life.
Could have impromptu rope.
Yeah, and it also mean that, like, you know, heart attacks and stuff wouldn't be an issue anymore because you don't need your internal organs, obviously.
Because you can regenerate them.
Yeah. The only thing is you'd want to put on a bit of weight probably so that you... Because it'd be hard to eat without internal organs, so to regenerate them.
Yeah, because you like need that food.
Yeah, so you need to put on a bit of weight. But I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
But in my dreams, I have a superpower. I don't know if I've ever told you this. But
Ah!
I have the ability to not go down.
I think...
Which I think I would take that power. I love that power so much in my dreams. It's just the coolest thing. Like, I jump, and then I jump, and I jump, and then I'm just walking around up in the air. And, like, I remember I was watching a baseball game, and I couldn't see over the fence properly, so I just jumped up a couple times. like, it's great.
Imagine...
I was walking with my friends, and we were playing disc golf. I walked backwards off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then I, like, just a small cliff, but like a little cliff. And then I was like, whoa! And I caught myself and then I just, like, hopped back.
Imagine... Okay.
That one I'd take.
Yeah, alright. What about having, like, the power to triple jump?
Well,
Like,
it's kind of like that, but
you know, what's the equivalent of power triple? Like, what would you, like, be iffy about? Like, triple jumping or...
like iffy about what do you mean?
Like, I'm not sure which one to choose. Like, triple jumping or, be able to stand on air for 5 seconds.
Yeah, something like triple jumping sounds exhausting though. Actually, like jumping takes a lot of energy. Can you imagine jumping 3 times in a row?
Right. What if...
That's the most difficult thing a person can do is jump 3 times in a row.
What if it's like what you say you can't go down? Like, you just create platforms under your feet, so you can just choose one and create them. You can, like, create 3 platforms.
Right.
So, like...
You get 3 platforms.
Or you, can teleport 5 feet before touching the ground. Like, have to touch the ground again.
But you have to touch the ground again.
Yeah.
And you can only teleport 5 feet?
Yeah.
Okay. And so can you stand on these platforms
They disappear.
fairly quickly?
Yeah.
Oh, then I'd teleport in.
Because the danger of...
No, just because it's not nearly as fun if you have to be stressful
So
about it.
you just look like one of those stop animations, so it's a teleporting. Just a...
I don't know. I'd use it occasionally. Like, I wouldn't walk through gates or doors anymore. I wouldn't open them. I mean, I'd use it then.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't enter car. I wouldn't open doors. Like a car, I'd just teleport into the car.
Yeah, like when people talk about superpowers, like, these superpowers would be really cool because I could save the day. Like, well, superpowers that just make you incredibly lazy.
What?
Like Kitty, like her power, she can walk through anything.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't open doors, does she?
Or like fences, you know, they're a bit of a pain to find the gate. You just teleport to the other side, boop. Or like you get to the top of a roof, just boop.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Or security checkpoint, boop!
That might get you in trouble. But, no, I could see that being really useful, actually. Like,
Just the powers that make you lazy, though.
I think there's a movie called Jumper or something. It's about a guy with power to teleport. And there's a part where he tries to... I can't remember... Like, I haven't seen it, but a friend told me about it. He, like, tries to escape the police or something.
Yeah.
And he has the power to teleport. And he can't teleport for some reason or something. And he's, like, trying to open the door, and the police come in and it's like, forgot how to use one of those. Because he just, like... He can teleport anywhere he can see, I think.
Yeah.
And he just becomes incredibly fat and lazy. Like, he sees the TV, and he wants to change the channel. He teleports to the remote and teleports back and changes the channel. And all this stuff. But we already have our superpowers because we went to the superpower thing. I have the power of auto-hypnotism. I can hypnotize myself.
Well,
And you have the power of moral high ground.
Yes.
The more morally superior you are to someone, the
also,
stronger
I
you
would ruin philosophy classes.
you'd have an arm wrestle with someone, and if you won, you'd be right, and if you lost, you'd be wrong.
Well, like the moral superiority, man. He gets more powerful the more moral he is.
The more moral he is compared to someone else.
Yes, but like you would ruin moral quandaries like moral superiority, man. We need you to do a real life version of the trolley problem twice.
Yeah, we'll see how much weight you can lift.
Yeah. You do both things of the trolley problem.
Yeah.
And someone else does the other option. We'll see which one's more moral.
Yeah.
It's just me doing my job.
That would be weird, like just. But actually, like the platform and teleporting one, if the platforms stay, then it's a harder choice for me.
Okay, platform stays then.
Okay, or you can make the teleporting worse. Like you can only teleport along a path that you can walk.
No, you can teleport, Cameron.
Yeah.
But it would take you the same time to walk that distance.
Oh, actually,
It still has application though, because like you
through
can
walls and stuff.
Yeah,
so.
you can go through walls. You can teleport. Like being able to teleport 5 feet up
Yeah,
is pretty decent.
like we could teleport downstairs.
Yeah.
And it would be a lot quicker because that's like 5 feet walking instead
Yeah.
of like the long path to the stairs and down.
Yeah, like it would be also just fast. Like it'd be weird travel, but it'd be faster in some ways. Like having to walk around a big school or a big building, you just like teleport.
Or what if you could like avoid like people in your way and stuff.
Yeah.
But could you? What if the teleport was you have to be able to walk the path already, so it's just slightly quicker.
That would still be pretty. Well, if it's only 5 feet.
But that could still be useful.
Mhm.
Like, you know, you want to like, oh, I have to go to the other side of my room to get that pencil.
Yeah.
Boom, boom. And also like someone swings at you. Just, boop, whoop.
Yeah. No, but you like it taking the same amount of time.
Yeah.
It's like you're gone for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Boom. Doop.
That could be useful.
Hmm.
Like you're in a plane crash, just
Nuclear bomb goes off. Loop.
yeah. But no, I think I would. Okay, so it takes the platforms don't stay, but it takes the same amount of time. I think I still take the teleport.
Okay, what about the platform stay?
Um.
But it's instant teleport again.
Okay. That one's harder. I think I'd take the platforms.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
because you could go. Whoop.
Yeah, like getting up cliffs and stuff would be fun,
Mm-hmm.
and make rock climbing a lot safer.
Like, what's the equivalent of being able to teleport where you can see like that thing?
Well, I've come up with some shape shifting, and
Never being tired, right?
and yeah, or having no needs. So you don't
Yeah,
need sleep,
perfect
you don't need
health.
food, you don't need sleep, you don't need food, you don't need
All right,
water.
yeah, Karen,
Yeah.
you can teleport anywhere.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
Or even you visited there before. No, you can teleport anywhere you see, or you have perfect health.
Now, if it's teleport anywhere I visited,
Yeah.
I take that one.
Mm-hmm.
I love that one. That would be an amazing power. You could like slowly expand your map of the world. It'd be great.
Teleport anywhere you can see.
Anywhere you can see or perfect health.
Yeah.
I think I would take the teleport because you can't live your life in fear.
Yeah.
My health is already what it is, but the teleporting is something different.
All right. The perfect health is 100% perfect health always. So you jump off a building,
Yeah.
splat, you get up and you're in perfect health.
Oh, that sounds painful.
No, but you don't even take the pain because like
Right.
you hit the ground,
Mhm.
even when you start getting injured, you're already perfect health. So it's just thud, oop, I'm up again.
Right.
So
So invincible.
you're invincible and always healthy and never tired. Like you're always in like you never need to sleep.
Never tired.
Your brain is never foggy. Like it's just
Okay, that one then, yeah.
all right. You can teleport.
Because I'm never tired.
You can teleport anywhere and teleport anywhere we visited.
Anywhere I see and anywhere I visited, or
Yeah.
the perfect health thing.
Yeah,
And the invincible.
yeah.
Ooh. Am I always warm as well?
You're in perfect health, so you like the cold will happen, but you're still warm. You're in perfect condition.
Ooh. Ooh. What if a genie appeared and said you have 5 seconds to choose? Now, would you think about it, or would you just choose one at random because... Because if you don't get either.
Perfect health.
Because either, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Like, any of them is awesome.
Yeah.
So you don't really have to think about it. You just be like, the second option.
Yes. I'd say perfect health.
Yeah.
Well, it's the thought is so the teleportation
Yeah.
is something extra and awesome.
Yeah.
The perfect health allows me to live my life just better.
Yeah. Well, I think you could with teleportation too.
Mm-hmm.
Like you visit friends far away, you could.
But I
Less
might
travel.
also become extremely lazy with the teleportation.
No, because you. Well, if it's anywhere you see as well, but if it's just anywhere you've been, teleport top of a mountain, go for a walk, then teleport back. Next day, go to top of a mountain again, continue the walk.
Yeah.
You can like go further
Checkpoints.
and further. Yeah. Like
Walk until you're tired and then go back home.
like you would sign up for that Mars colony, no problem.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
'Cause-
Oh, imagine that. Like becoming an astronaut with that.
yeah,
You would be so useful to the world.
yeah.
Like, all right, we need
You'd be
stuff for
faster. You'd be a faster way to send messages.
yeah, or just like we need to get some material to the space station. Here we go. Hold on this. Whoop,
Yeah,
whoop.
we'd save millions.
Mm-hmm.
Your job is now a courier. You're a mailman.
Well, actually, that was
You'd
interesting.
be the greatest mailman.
I was playing a superhero RPG,
Yeah,
and it was based off that book Worm. So people get powers based on their fear.
yeah,
And my guy's fear is he didn't have enough time.
yeah.
And so his superpower, I've thought of it as the worst and coolest superpower. It's
Yeah.
basically Professor Zoom.
Yeah.
He slows down the whole universe.
Yeah.
And he's stuck in it.
Yeah,
So he, to all intents and purposes, he's as fast as Flash.
yeah,
But to him, he's really bored.
Right.
And everything's moving really slowly. And so what he became in our like his backstory is people are kind of mad at him because he doesn't fight crime.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't see any point to it. So he's the job of a mail courier. And so he like goes through apartment buildings and people just get their mail always on time. It's like delivered really fast. And like he just does all the deliveries for this one city. And so it's just this blur that goes around like dropping boxes
he just
off.
walks around the city.
Yeah, and then like in her campaign, one of the like really bad kaiju monsters attack, which was like Leviathan.
Yeah.
And it was like attacking people, and instead of like fighting it, he would like walk around on the water because it's moving really slowly, and grab superheroes that are about to get hurt and pull them out of the way, or like someone got injured and he'd grab them and do surgery on them because like they're bleeding out.
Yeah.
But you can just go doo, 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 like just sew them up before any blood leaves.
Read a book on surgery.
Yeah, basically, but his power is so miserable in some ways. Like you're the loneliest person ever.
Yeah. I don't know. You could spend like years with a person.
Yeah, but
You just,
yeah,
you just like you see someone that you like. You don't know them at all on the bus.
Yeah.
You grab their hand and hold it for a year of your time,
Yeah.
and you let go, and they never notice. And it's the most pathetic, sad
saddest
thing ever.
story. Yeah, yeah. On the whole
Oh,
thing
that's actually kind of
That's-
gross as well.
yeah, that one guy like losing his powers and like don't know how to use doors anymore.
Yeah.
Like in the Flash TV series, at one point Flash loses his powers.
Yeah.
And it's like an ordinary day for ordinary man. And it like shows like Flash going through his daily routine, like getting dressed really fast,
Yeah.
getting out of bed, like running to work, getting there, like doing all his work really fast so he can then just enjoy life. And then he accidentally bumps his coffee and it drops and he grabs it.
Yeah.
And then it shows him without his powers, like has to drive to work, like put on his clothes, takes a long time, he's late, he has to wait in line for coffee instead of just running forward, making himself leave me a tip.
Yeah.
Then he gets there and he's like just going through his work normally and then he actually bumps his coffee and just falls and smashes.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of sad, like he had those powers and loses them. But just okay, so that superpower of you get stuck in time,
Yeah.
or its opposite.
Ooh.
So everything's faster than you.
Ooh.
That's sort of like it works.
How do you age? Do you age at a normal rate for you or for
You age relative to the rest of the world in the one. So for the person who's everything's really slow,
Yeah.
he ages like the rest of the world.
Okay.
So like he's
80 Earth years is 80 of his years kind of thing?
80 Earth years.
He becomes 80 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like going to be alive for 1,000,000 years in
Right.
his perspective. Whereas the other person is they live as long as a person in they live as long as people as they would.
Right.
So
So it's from their perspective, sort of.
yeah.
Okay. Well, the one thing, both would be kind of lonely, right?
Yeah.
Depending on how fast the fast guy was,
Mm-hmm.
you could still have relationships. They'd just be fairly quick and
Yeah.
friends and stuff. And
And like I actually came up like the way that he would communicate with people would most likely be through writing.
Yeah.
And then it'd just be like him waiting a really long time for people to reply.
Yeah. But the fast guy would like
He could like
carve into stone ancient words.
no, like the fat.
I mean the slow guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
Could like begin carving stone in like the Bronze Age, and then by the medieval times they see his words finally carved.
Yeah, like with the fast guy, I was thinking he could actually like interact with like 20 different people, like write words, run over someone else, write words, run over someone else,
Yeah.
then wait for each reply. But that'd sort of be like living via Facebook.
Yeah. But on the other hand, the fast guy, right? He gets the guy he has like superpowers. The guy that moves the fast guy, he has like superpowers, so that's cool. And he can like help out or not as he chooses, and do all sorts of stuff, and travel like crazy, walk on water, all that fun stuff. But the really slow guy could see time pass, which is so cool. Because history is so interesting to learn about, but you could watch it.
Yeah.
But it would be so like depressing as well.
Yeah.
You'd have to be invincible as well, or some Joker
I'm pretty
would
sure
just, like, knock your head off.
I'm pretty sure he would be invincible.
You better hope so, because you'd be defenseless.
Some Joker would knock your head off. That's your.
Yeah, or like draw on you.
Oh damn it! Someone drew on me. It's like a whole family lineage is devoted to putting graffiti on you.
Yeah, it'd be a real pain. Because you'd be like this statue that the legends are about that you slowly move everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, what's a counter to like the fast one that's not the being really slow? 'Cause I feel like the being really slow is just kind of sucky.
I don't know. I could like watching history pass and stuff. I don't know. All right.
Yes. Well, I think that's that. We said we stopped and
We stopped about half an hour ago.
it was more than half an hour ago.
Right.
It was like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah. So good thing we stopped.
Yes. Yeah, we stopped and started talking. Yeah, we just thought we'd stop and continue.
So
Thank you for watching, listening. Yes. Thank you for listening. If you liked it, leave a comment
don't do that
in
again.
size chat.
No, let's not even pretend.
No.
Because I just feel dirty now.
Yes, I know. That's why I was doing that.
No, just do you. You
Yes.
do you. Please.
I hope you enjoyed, though. Anyways, if you got to this point, otherwise you did something really bad,
Yeah.
horrible
I hope
to
you
yourself.
enjoyed, because sometimes I wonder,
Yes.
and not because I'm insecure. It's more like,
If you've listened this much,
or
you better enjoy it.
something like that. I just,
Yes.
yeah.
Anyways,
If we changed the entire name of the podcast because of suggestions, so yeah, I guess what I'm saying is,
we're really insecure.
no, it's just if you're not in, I don't know, I need you to like it or something. I don't think it's good. I don't know if it's good. But no, I don't know what it is. I hope you enjoy it anyways.
Yes.
Let me think about this. Okay, let's actually think. Do I care if anyone enjoys this? I mean, it would give me gratification. I'd be like, oh, I made something people enjoy. But like, do I care about them? Okay, when I make a mod and someone says, oh, this is really cool, improve my game, actually, but is it because I made them happy, or do I actually care about them?
Well,
Okay, we'll see. I'll think about it.
yes.
Bye. Bye.